How can anyone, whether they want to work in a language school or privately from their own laptop anywhere in the world, create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, even if they are just starting out or have no teaching experience or ability? Hi, my name is Lynette Kim, and here on the TESOL Talk podcast, I aim to answer that very question.
I know there are a number of people who would love to ESL teach, or current teachers that have anxiety about teaching because they worry about what would I do or how would I handle the situation where a lesson that I'm teaching has fallen flat. And this can happen. It can happen for a number of reasons. The material doesn't suit the particular learner's needs. The material's too easy. The material's too difficult. Or, you know what? Some ESL course books lessons just in published materials just aren't as good as others. And lessons can fall flat. It can happen to anyone. The key is to always know and have a bag of tricks. And I've talked about this before. A bag of tricks is a group of activities. Now, the best ones you want to keep mentally in a mental store that you know you can use these particular activities with any vocabulary, with basically any age learner and any level of learner. And some really tried and true ones in that instance is things like charades, backs to the board. So if you don't know what backs to the board is, this is where you would have the class in two teams, and one team member from each team would stand with their back to the board with a line through the middle of the board. And behind the board, you would write a piece of vocabulary, and behind a different piece of vocabulary behind each student. And their team has to shout out clues so they can figure out what word is actually behind them. And if you were doing a lesson on cooking, so you could have been teaching different weights or different measurements or different ingredients or different cooking utensils, and that can just be what's written behind, and they have to they have to yell out clues for the person to understand. So they're working on vocabulary, they're working on explaining and describing. It's all meaningful at the end of the day. So that's one of the activities. So say you're doing a lesson and it's just falling flat and the students are bored and they're not enjoying it at all. Hi, it's Lynn here. I hope you're enjoying this episode of TESOL Talk. I just want to let you know that if you want to teach English as a second language, then the best way to get started is by getting your TESOL certification. Of course, my recommendation for the best TESOL course is a TESOL Australia course, because I wrote those. I wrote them because there are so many important things I felt were missing in TESOL courses that were on offer. So I put everything in that I wish I had been taught when I was first starting out. If you have any questions, or if you need someone to help you figure out a plan to create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, simply go to our website, tesolau.com. That's TESOLAU.com, and fill in the form to get professional advice on your exact situation. Also, if you ask for the TESOL Talk discount, we will give you an extra $100 off the course of your choice. Now let's get straight back to the episode. You need to change it up by using something out of your bag of tricks. So a basic vocabulary, where in a course book they might have a match-up vocabulary to the picture. Woohoo, that's exciting. So you've got, some basic utensils there and their names on the other side, like spatula and I can't even think of the technical word for an egg flip. Is it an egg flip? The thing that you flip everything over in the fry pan. I think that's what it is. You can see how much cooking I do. And and so those sorts of things. And it's a match up for a pre-intermediate level class or an elementary level class. That's so boring. But if you made that, instead told them they had to close their books, it's like, ooh, what are we doing? And then you made that into a game of Pictionary. Well, that's really nasty. Or backs to the board. Can you imagine now the energy level of the class is like, we're in teams, number one, all that competitive spirit's going to come out. Adults love a good competition. They love card games and everything else, so they get into this stuff. And they're also, doing the activity completely differently. It adds energy to the room instantly. So lessons falling flat are just a prod to the teacher to change it up. And this bag of tricks, so you've got different activities that you can change it into. There's ways you can change things into dialogues. Quite often when I was teaching, if I saw an activity, too many activities that seemed like individual student work rather than opportunities for pair and group work where communication between students, so student talk time, you can get it further up to 80%. If they didn't allow for that, I would automatically change it up. It was a given. I wouldn't wait for things to fall flat. I'd be like, yeah, that quiet reading activity is now going to become a pair or a group work discussion where they've got to look for specific things, and I would change it up. So don't feel that, I can't be a good ESL teacher because, I won't be able to bring out enough, personality and liveliness to motivate students to do some of these activities that are looking very closely like they're going to fall flat. That's not what it's about. It should never be about the teacher's personality. It's got to be about how things are presented so that the students' personalities come out, and the students are the ones that are going to get the energy going in the room. That's what you're looking for. So having that bag of tricks, be ready to adapt. You need to be very flexible and adapt activities. So think about games that you played when you were younger, and maybe you do party games now. That's fun. You can incorporate that. Bingo, for goodness sakes. Who doesn't like bingo? So many people love bingo. I've got a friend who goes on cruises just to play bingo. So, it's amazing what people will enjoy. And you can change these things up within the classroom to make it exciting. So, having a bag of tricks. Now, if you do one of our TESOL courses, we incorporate all of this. So there's stacks of these activities with descriptions of or procedures for how to run them in your class. So you just need to get used to adapting activities and seeing that opportunity. But when you do a TESOL course, obviously this is what you learn to do. You learn to adapt. You learn to be flexible and change it up and bring out the personality of your students. And these are the really important key skills that anyone can use to have exciting, energetic, impactful lessons that maximize student talk time and maximize student learning goal achievement.